page 46 of your notes, section 7.3 says use your calculator to solve the following. Now, you took a quiz last time, and most of you did absolutely great. And the quiz was about substitution elimination, right? In other words, you had two equations, two variables, x and y, and you did either substitution or elimination, and you figured out what x and y were. Well, take a look at these equations. These are systems of equations, but you don't have just two of them. Now you have three or even four, and you don't have just x's and y's. You now have x's, y's, and z's, or even x, y, z's, and w's, right? So we're on our note sheets, page 46. All right, and everybody's going to get a calculator out, and we're going to go through how we are going to do these problems on our calculator. Could you do these problems using substitution and elimination just like you already know? Yes, but it takes a very long time. And you run a risk of making careless arithmetic mistakes. So since we bought these calculators, we might as well use them to their fullest potential. So here is what I want you to do. Here's the first problem. I'm writing it down. Right underneath, in that blank space in your notes, I want you to make a matrix. And the matrix I want you to make has all of the numbers in the whole problem. So I want you to do 1, 1, negative 1, 2. So see where I'm getting those numbers? 1, 1, negative 1, 2. Now I'm going to put 2, negative 1, 3, 14. And then 3, 1, 1, 14. So far it's super simple, right? We're just writing down a matrix with all of the numbers, no letters, no equals, no pluses, just the numbers. Now, if they're negative, you got to put the negative in. Okay? But otherwise, it's just the numbers. All right? So now we're going to go to our calculators. And we're going to find the matrix button. Now, it is a second. You have to press second to get it. It's in the first column, and it's that button right there. It's second, that button. Everybody find it? See where it says matrix right on the keyboard? So you're going to press second matrix. Now, I don't know if you have what you have in there right now, but it doesn't matter, so don't worry about it. I want you to click across to where it says edit. So do you see across the top? We're clicking over, so we're in edit. And then just press enter. Now, the calculator is asking you, how big do you want matrix A to be? Well, how many rows does this have? 3. How many columns does it have? 4. So we're going to put in 3, enter, 4, enter. Now, as soon as you do that, it sets up a matrix for you that has 3 rows and 4 columns. Now, if you already have numbers in there, don't worry. You're going to type in new ones. If you don't have numbers, that's great. You're going to type in new ones. Now we type in these exact numbers. Make sure you put the negative in when there's a negative. So 1, enter, 1, enter, negative 1, enter, 2, enter. And once you get across the top row, then it brings you down to the next row. 2, negative 1. As soon as you get every number in, I want you to press enter. Make sure that everything's set. All the numbers are in there. Everybody with us? Everybody's got all the numbers in?
Yeah.
Okay, so now I want you to do second quit. Quit is above the mode button, and all that does is get you out of matrix mode, just back to the regular screen. Okay? Now go back into matrix mode. So second matrix. Now, a minute ago, when we went to second matrix, where did I have you click? Edit. We always use edit to put numbers in. If you're going to change the information in the calculator, if you're going to edit the information, you use edit. Now we're going to do something with it. So we're going over to math. So click over to math. Now you see a whole bunch of stuff, right? I want you to go down that list. Oh my gosh, there's so much we can do with matrices. We're going to go all the way down until you find this. So go all the way down until you see RREF. That stands for Reduced Row Echelon Form. You don't need to know that. We're just using the RREF button. So press that button. Now on the screen, it should say this, right? Back into matrix. Now we want A. Just press enter. And now that pulls matrix A up here. Close the parentheses and press enter. And a new matrix came up on the screen. Is this the matrix you see on your screen? Now, what in the heck does that represent? I want you to think about that for a minute.
What X?
What?
X, Y.
Yeah. Remember, when you put in the original information, weren't these the X numbers? And these were the Y's, and these were the Z's, and then these were the equals numbers? So what do we have now? Look at that top row. That's 1x, nothing else is there, so x equals 4. Y, this is the y row, y equals 0, and z equals 2. So your answer is 4, 0, 2. Remember on your quiz, you had to find x and y? Well, now we're finding x, y, and z. And when you RREF a matrix, they come up right here. X, Y, Z. Wow. That's pretty easy. Let's look at the next one. Here's what I want you to write down. I want you to write down the matrix that you're going to put into the calculator. So we're doing number 2 now. So this is the matrix you're putting into the calculator. 1, 4, negative 2, 0. 2, 1, 1, 6. Negative 3, 3, negative 5, negative 13. Marley?
My calculator doesn't, like, it's not showing the RREF thing.
You have to go down farther in the list.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't show it.
Now, let's put this in. Let's get this calculator in. Now, here's the deal, kids. When we go into second matrix and across to edit, it says 3 by 4 already. Is this a 3 by 4 again? Yep. So you can either retype it in or just move through that. And now put in your new numbers. Just type them right on top of the old ones. So you're just gonna keep retyping right on top of all the old numbers. Just retype it. So I want everybody to put that matrix in. So make sure you got all your numbers in. Now, does anybody remember what we do after we get them all in? Second click. Why do we second click? Because we gotta get out of matrix mode. We gotta get out of that edit mode. So we second click. Now, we're going to RREF this matrix and get a new one. So now we go back into our matrix, over to math, and down to RREF. Now what comes up is just this. When you press RREF, you have to tell it which matrix you want to work on. So we go back to second matrix and just press enter. And this time I got this. Did anybody else get that? So what do I put down in the answer blank? This is really all the work. I don't have to do any more work. Now I'm just ready to write down my answer. What's my answer going to be? X is 3,
Negative 0.5.
Y is negative 0.5, and Z is 0.5.
Wait. How do you do after the RREF?
Go back into matrix
Yeah.
and press enter. A should be highlighted, so just press enter. That puts A on the screen. Now press enter, and it should give you this new matrix.
I did not get that.
Okay, did you get A matrix?
Yeah.
Okay, you probably have the wrong ones typed in. So go back and check your entries again. Make sure you, because one little number here that's wrong will throw it all off. So make sure these are the numbers that you have typed in. All right. Let's try number 3. We'll do one more together, and oh well, no, we probably better do 4 together too because it looks tricky. Let's see if we can get 3 figured out. What do you need to write down? All you need to write down is the matrix that's going into the calculator. So here is the matrix. This is problem number 3. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Look at problem number 3. Look at equation number 2. What's tricky about that? There's no y. Make sure you put a 0 in there. You can't leave an empty spot. Make sure you put in a 0 for the y. So you're going to put that matrix into your calculator. You're going to RREF it, and out is going to come a new matrix. Okay. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to help you if you're stuck on something. So remember, we go into second matrix, click across to edit, to 3x4.
The number is the same that it was
I just always retype them in, but you can skip over that if you want. Just arrow over it. you to write down the matrix that came out. And then I want you to write down your answer. So I got 1, 2, 1 as my answer. Anybody not getting 1, 2, 1? That's X is 1, Y is 2, Z is 1. Okay, we're going to do one more together, and then you're going to do the last one by yourself. On the homework sheet for this section, I have you doing just problems 33 to 38, and the directions that I have given you say ignore the directions. I want you to use your calculator on those 6 problems. I want you to use your calculator and do what we're doing right here. Okay? So whatever the directions say, don't do that. Do it this way right here. All right, let's do one more together, and then you do that last one on your own. Number 4. Now, pay attention. We have 4 equations and 4 letters. Okay? Now, the order of the letters doesn't matter, so I can do X, Y, Z, W. I just have to remember when my answer eventually comes out, this is going to be X, Y, Z, W. The answer is going to come out in whatever order that you put the letters in your matrix. Okay? So if it freaks you out to have the W on the end, you can make the W first, so they're in alphabetical order. But that just means when you get your answers, your W will be first. My W is going to be last. All right, so here we go. X, Y, negative Z, 0, 4. There's the top equation if I go in order, X, Y, Z, W.
So if it changes to 4 by 5,
Yeah, it's going to be, actually, it's going to be a, 4 by 5. We'll get ready to do that. All right, so what's the next one? No X, Y is 1, no Z, W is 1, and negative 4. It's kind of like a puzzle. Are you keeping up? X is 1, Y is negative 1, no Z, no W, 1.
What's the 4 and the 4 1?
Those are these numbers in the equation.
How did you get 1 for X?
In equation number 3?
And this one?
Yeah, equation number 3 has X minus Y. It has an X. It has a negative Y. It does not have a Z and W. Now the bottom one has an X, has a Z and a W but no Y, and equals 1. So that is the matrix that you're going to put in for problem number 4.
So, you suggest we write it down and
I'm telling you to get credit for this problem. You have to write down the matrix that goes in, and then you have to write down the matrix that comes out.
God bless you, God bless you.
This is the work you have to show me. All right, so here we go. So second matrix, as Deshani already said, you're going to have to change your dimensions, kids. What is this? 4. Whoop. Got to go over to edit. It's a 4 by 5, right? So here we go. So just to make sure that I am being completely clear, and there's no confusion here, kids, notice that I wrote down the matrix I typed in. I wrote down that I pressed this button. I wrote down the matrix that came out. And then I wrote down my answer. That's what you have to show, Morgan.
That was my question.
That's what you have to show. Show me what you put in, show me what came out, and then tell me what the answer is. Okay, and this is the answer right here. All right, so let's try that last one on your own. Then we'll do a quick review problem. Then I think it's going to be time to go already.
Yeah. Get out of it. So that last one is always
No, 11, 10. Wishful thinking.
What's up, Robbie?
What up, Rob?
Come on, do this problem. Everybody's doing it. Here we go.
Yeah, bro.
Robbie, I should not see you sitting there. I should see you pressing buttons.
I got it.
You already did number 5? Oh, okay. It's back to a 3 by 4. What'd you get, Robbie? You are wrong, but you are doing exactly what I prepared you to do. This problem is a wacko problem, okay?
Ooh, so what's the mean?
What that means is
Don't get the
I'm not
wrong
going to give
answer.
you this question on a test or quiz.
Clutch.
It's a little bit different. It has infinitely many solutions, so let's just not worry about it, okay? Let's not worry about it. It's a little bit harder than I want it to be, and I'm just going to have to make sure that I don't do that again on a test.
What's wrong with it?
Okay, what's wrong with it is the matrix that you get. Okay, let's look at this one. This last one we did, it came out and said X, no Y's, Z's, or W's equals 4.5. So it said X equals 4.5. This one, look at that top row. That top row, which is X, Y, and Z, and then your equals number. That top row is 10.20. And then you have 01.80, and then you have 0001. Now, what is bad about this is, take a look at that bottom row. That says no X's plus no Y's plus no Z's equal 1. That's what that says. Right? Okay, think about that. Can no X's, no Y's, and no Z's add up to be 1? No. This is a bad problem. Now, let me explain to you what's going on geometrically. These equations, the 3 equations in problem 5, represent planes. So like the ceiling, and the floor, and the walls. What this problem tells me is these 3 planes do not intersect. Like the corner up there, the corner is the intersection of that wall, and the ceiling. Agreed? They all come together in that point. That's what happened in these other problems. They all came together in that point. What's happening here is you got the front board, you got the side board over there, and then you got a wall somewhere. They're not intersecting. They're not coming together. Does that make sense to you when you look at that equation right there? That can't be? That's true.
And isn't it also like wrong because like it's like there's an X and
And it's, yep, that tells you something fishy is going on.
So if you think it was a problem like that, we would check it.
Well, fine.
Actually, this one has no solution. Some of them have infinite